Welcome to Political Paradoxes, the show where we examine the stories that just don't seem to add up. Today, we have a fascinating one that cuts right to the heart of modern politics.
It really does, Alex. Let's start with a hypothetical. Imagine you're leading a political movement.
Okay.
And your most prominent public villain, the person you portray as the shadowy puppet master behind everything you oppose, is George Soros.
A name that's become almost mythical in right-wing circles.
Exactly. So with that in mind, who would you choose to run the entire nation's economy as your Treasury secretary? The most logical answer would be pretty much anyone.
Right.
Anyone who hasn't worked with George Soros.
And yet, that's not what happened. Donald Trump's choice was Scott Bessent.
Wow.
And Bessent wasn't just, some low-level employee.
No.
For over a decade, he was one of Soros's top executives, his chief investment officer, and a widely acknowledged protégé. The question is, how is that even possible? And today, using only the documented facts, we're going to unpack it.
Let's start with just how deep that professional relationship was.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a casual connection. Scott Bessent's career was forged at Soros Fund Management. He worked there in 2 long stints, first from 1991 to 2000.
A truly pivotal time. Bessent was a key member of the small team that, in 1992, engineered one of the most audacious trades in financial history.
Right.
The $10 billion bet against the British pound. It was so successful it earned the nickname Breaking the Bank of England and reportedly netted Soros over $1 billion in profit.
It's a legendary Wall Street tale, and Bessent was one of the key minds behind it.
Absolutely.
He eventually left to start his own fund, but then he returned to the Soros fold in 2011.
Okay.
This time as the chief investment officer, so essentially running the entire investment empire until 2015.
And during that second tour of duty, he led another trade that cleared $1 billion in profit, this time betting against the Japanese yen. The point is, for more than a decade in total, Scott Bessent was the man executing the very strategies that built the Soros fortune.
Right.
He didn't just work there, he learned the game from the master himself.
Which makes his political evolution all the more stunning.
Yeah.
Because back in the early 2000s, Bessent's politics seemed to align with his boss. He was a major Democratic donor. There are documentary reports of him co-hosting a high-profile fundraiser for Al Gore at his home.
Wow.
He gave money to Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama.
But then a profound shift occurred, and there isn't a single date you can point to.
Right.
But by 2016, the transformation was undeniable. He donated $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration.
$1 million.
And for the 2024 campaign, he and his affiliated PACs contributed over $1.5 million to support Trump. Of the $15 million he has reportedly donated to political causes over his lifetime, nearly all of it has gone to Republicans.
And that brings us to the core of the paradox.
Right.
How does a man with that resume get a pass, let alone a cabinet position, from a political movement that uses the phrase Soros-funded as its most powerful and damning insult?
Well, the facts suggest the answer lies in a very deliberate and frankly savvy political campaign. This was not an accident.
Right.
Reporting from outlets like Bloomberg indicates that Bessent methodically cultivated allies within Trump's most trusted inner circle.
So he did more than just write checks. He built strategic relationships.
And perhaps the most important one was with Steve Bannon.
Okay.
Despite Bessent's Ivy League and elite Wall Street background, Bannon became his champion, famously stating that Bessent is MAGA to his core.
Bannon didn't just endorse him, he coached him.
Yeah.
He reportedly advised Bessent to master the economic issues Trump is passionate about, particularly trade, and told him he needed to engage with the pro-MAGA media.
Exactly.
He was appearing on shows like Bannon's War Room and on Breitbart Radio.
If Mindic subscribes for P-levels, pretty much.
He was speaking their language, championing Trumponomics. It's like he was issued a MAGA passport, stamped and approved by the very gatekeepers of the movement.
And at the same time, he was winning over other key economic advisors in Trump's orbit.
Right.
Figures like Peter Navarro and Art Laffer. He convinced them that he was ideologically one of them.
So you see this multi-pronged strategy emerge.
Yeah.
First, prove your loyalty with significant, timely donations.
Step 1.
Second, secure the endorsement of highly influential MAGA figures.
Step 2.
And third, publicly align your entire economic economic worldview with the Trump agenda, it appears that combination was powerful enough to neutralize his 2-decade history with George Soros.
The whole episode forces you to ask what matters more in politics today, the rhetoric you use or the results you can deliver. For years, the rhetoric has been that anyone connected to Soros is an enemy of the cause.
Absolutely.
But the reality is, when it came to choosing a Treasury secretary, competence, or at least perceived competence, and current loyalty to Trumpism trumped everything.
It also complicates the idea of the establishment.
Totally.
The MAGA movement is defined by its opposition to the establishment, yet here is a quintessential Wall Street insider, a hedge fund billionaire who worked for the man they call the ultimate globalist, being fully embraced.
Yeah.
It seems establishment isn't about your resume anymore, it's about whether you're on the team right now.
And the silence from the base was also deafening.
It was.
The facts of Bessent's past were widely reported, but it never ignited into a major firestorm on the right. It seems an endorsement from Trump, or even from a figure like Bannon, acts as a powerful disinfectant.
It's a fascinating case study in political evolution, strategic maneuvering, and the incredibly fluid nature of modern political alliances.
Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about.
Does the Scott Bessent appointment prove that in today's political landscape, past associations and ideological labels are becoming less important than present loyalty and perceived ability?
Or
does it reveal that the intense public anger directed at figures like George Soros is more a form of political theater than a genuine litmus test for who is allowed to hold power?